Shamps and Giggles. History, news, views, and reviews from a black perspective. Shamps and Giggles back for 2024. Oh my lord.
Welcome one and all back to Shamps and Giggles, the last quarter for this show. We're going to talk the things because we're discussing again the devastation that's gone throughout the Caribbean and hit Mexico now. It is so shocking that there's other videos that we will be bringing to you to highlight, and we will also speak again about where you can go for donations and so on, and to donate. All right. Okay. Thank you, Miss Leisha. So let's go with Pinky. Pinky, your hand was up from the break, so thank you very much. What was you going to say? Thank you.
It's okay. I was just going to say about St. Vincent as well.
Okay. Well, we can definitely look for something for St. Vincent, and yeah, St. Vincent and Grenadines have gone through so much. The other thing that was in our chat that I was going to mention is G, who correctly, and he's a man that knows his statistics. He said Carriacou's population is about 6,000 people. Landmass is about 12 square miles. Can you just picture this and imagine how small their economy is? If you put those figures into perspective, imagine how small their economy is, and then take time to work out that this one island, how many years, if not decades, will it take to recover if they don't get the help from outside worlds? Just picture that, and that's just one island, part of an island, Carriacou. How long will they ever be able to get back to where they were before? That's the question. That is the question. And smaller than Barbados, and Barbados is smaller than Birmingham. I didn't realize that. That's interesting. Miss Leisha, go ahead.
My concern would be that there'll be wealthy people looking to buy land.
Oh dear.
And they would buy off the government.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because it will force the hand of the government to sell to these wealthy people, whereby they'll lose their land because they're going to be absolutely desperate to rebuild. I just have that feeling that's going to happen.
My goodness.
All those people have lost their homes. I mean, imagine you own a plot of land there, your home's devastated. You have like somebody comes to you and says, "Oh, we can buy that plot of land from you, but we'll rent it out to you for X amount." Times like this, devastations like this are a perfect time for people to make money off, because people are desperate.
Yeah.
And they are destitute. And when you have desperate and destitute together, and there's they've got no health care. They've got the education everything's been blown to the wind, so to speak. And they're desperate. There are going to be people taking full advantage of it. I hope that the children there weren't any children who were lost. I feel for those who are homeless as well, because this is a time when people will be taken full advantage of.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's so many information, and you're absolutely right, Miss Leisha. And Osset agrees with you. You're absolutely right, Miss Leisha. She said absolutely right. And then you got Osset saying, just like after the Hawaii fires, the money bought the moneyeds, the people with the dollars, probably American dollars, bought land at ridiculously cheap rates.
Yeah. So what happened in Hawaii? fires happened and it was really bizarre. It happened in the more poorer areas, and the affluent areas didn't get the fires, which is really bizarre. And then what they did was they bought up, a lot of the wealthy people bought up those areas. And people like Oprah Winfrey were attacked for it because they had bought land, I say allegedly, in these areas, even though they owned a lot of land. And yet they were asking for donations from people. It was really bizarre, and people were getting a bit upset about it. But children went missing, like just disappeared. And they're still talking about it. Hawaii is one of those islands where it's so expensive that the locals can no longer afford to live there.
Yeah.
It's no longer Hawaii, it's the land of, and that's what you see, these Caribbean islands, a lot of them have been turned that way. It's so expensive.
And that's because other people are buying the lands.
Yeah, they're being pushed out by the wealthy.
Yeah, they're pushed out. And I know that there's so many people doing boycotts and on beaches, like they did in St. Lucia. How could you buy the pecans, the pecans? How can you buy it? You know, it's an island's historic treasure, and people want to sell it off. Pitons.
Yeah, pitons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pitons.
Yeah, pitons. That's right. So yeah, so it just shows you, and yet still there's some more statistics coming out. This goes to what Spice was saying in the chat to radio listeners. Just bear this in mind. Carriacou, as I said before, 12 square miles. Barbados, 166 square miles. London, 607 square miles. And Birmingham, which is north, is only, well, I say only, is 103 square miles. So that just shows you, you know, the level of how small Carriacou is. And yeah, if they had to pay for their own repairs and so on, it will take them decades to get back to where they were, if that. And then Osset, right again, Miss Leisha, about children going missing in Hawaii. I wonder how children have been affected in the islands. And that's very true, because we think of the adults going through, as the parents going through. However, it's the children as well who get affected. And them being affected, it's traumatizing for them. Absolutely traumatized. I know it's hard to fathom for adults and parents, but when you're adult, you get more stronger and more strength, and you can, as long as you're alive, you find there's a way, and you get that inner strength. However, the children, as Osset was saying, they're the ones that you really have to worry about. And I hope and I pray that they have the support mechanism out there, that they can get the children through it. But you know what it's like, being a West Indian, born of a West Indian parent in the West Indies, born of a West Indian parent in England, those two are far apart as in mentality. I find that the West Indian children are more strengthened, more solid, more grounded than you would find some of the children in England. I don't know what it is. I think it's what they've been instilled in the Caribbean. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that I'm correct, that they will find a way through it. Listen, we can't talk about this enough. It's such a sad thing. I was going to try and share a video again, but I'm going to wait and see. I'm just waiting for clarification on if it's an X-rated type of video or one that can be aired, a PG.
Right. You don't mean X-rated, Keith. You mean
no? That's wrong. I said the wrong word there. So let's.
No. A video that has profanity. We don't need profanity in our videos.
No, we don't. So and yeah. So let me. Yeah, I retract that.
We don't show X-rated videos.
No, we don't. We don't. Yeah, we don't. So I'm not sure if it had any swearing in it, which we cannot and we will not. promote. So I will reserve on that. That was some more damages from Barbados. Listen, everybody, we gave out the information for where we want to do donations. So please, if you want to donate, you've got places all over, probably all over the UK that will be doing things for the Caribbean. We know personally that within Shamps and Giggles, there are people in our platform that are looking into sending supplies to various islands in the Caribbean. There's also places in west of London, which we've already given out, which is Mo Better Cuts in Ladbroke Grove area, in the West 10 area, which is 316A Ladbroke Grove, W10 5NQ. And there's also a contact number there for Saskia, which is 07 572 492 258. So please, if you can donate, please, any non-perishable items, waters, children's clothing, adults' clothes, nappies, toiletries, etc. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I know that's non-perishable, but listen, tools, important for tools. They need tools. So if you've got any tools that you're happy to donate or even buy them, they'd be grateful for them. So please do that. We just got to be wary. This has happened. We're going to keep the faith and carry on. Miss Leisha, go ahead.
I'm glad you said tools.
Yes.
Often we forget that people need to rebuild, and the only way you can rebuild is by using tools.
Yeah. So and that's why we talk to things, and that's why we're Shamps and Giggles. So we try to cover every part, every angle, thinking if it was you doing your garden or you're building something, what would you need? Tools, any type of tools or equipment. Send it if you can afford it. If you've got it and you've got a double up of them, send it. Anything is useful. So so please, if you can, please donate. More the merrier. We want to make it a successful voyage of items going over to these Caribbean islands. So listen, so don't forget Shamps and Giggles. That's how we do the things every Friday. We talk the things. We make sure that the community gets involved. Okay. So listen, one and all, thank you very much for your input. And I'm sure it's not going to end here when we're doing things for the Caribbean. Listeners, get involved, find out about who's doing what in your community and get it done and get it sent out to them. And don't forget, we're on TikTok. Shamps and Giggles, definitely, we're on TikTok. Yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're on our website, which is Shamps and Giggles. So don't forget, you can catch us on all our media networks and the radio, which is brilliant. And listen, if you want to write into us, please do. We like talking to things, and we can pick up your topics, and which www.shamps, which is AND, Giggles, which is all one word, .co.uk, and the Instagram at Shamps and Giggles, Facebook just Shamps and Giggles, and Shamps and Giggles Black edutainment, because that's what we're all about. So please get in touch, and we're there, and then we're on the radio, as I said, 6 days a week, and if you can't work in it how I pronounce the Shamps, it's like champagne, but just Shamps, CHAMP, okay, S, Shamps, and Giggles, GIGGLES, okay. So hopefully you got all that, where we do discuss things, and please, get involved, jump on board. We're here every Friday, so please sign up to be part of our information. Yeah, so we've got loads of things going on. Yeah, brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that one, that concludes our discussion for the hurricane. And I thank you once again. So next, as I promised, and I know that everybody's happy, some people are sad with the general election and the outcome. But as you know, the UK government has changed from Conservative. 14 years we had the Conservatives. I can't believe it's so long. 14 years. And now we've got a new government, which is Labour. Oh, and Nigel Farage, if we know who he is. He's also got in, tried 8 times to get in, and he's now got in. So I'm not sure if a lot of people are happy or sad that Labour is in, and I'm praying that everybody did vote, including the listeners on the radio. I'm hoping, and I'll type Zoom. So listen, hands up, or who wants to voice? Did everybody vote? Did you not vote? You felt sorry the Conservatives lost in that way. It was an absolutely huge loss. Did anyone? Yeah, okay, lovely. Hands up, Spice. I'm not sure if it's. I shouldn't have said hands up actually. Did you want to say how you feel? Are you upset?
No, I'm not upset at all. I voted as soon as I left my house the morning. I went straight to the polling station. I voted Labour because my local Labour council is very good, and
Okay.
I don't really see what the others are doing, to be quite honest. I think Keir Starmer's the best of the bad bunch.
Mhm.
You know, but I'm glad they've got in. You know, they're not going to be able to change everything around straight away, but I'm hopeful that they'll change some stuff.
Brilliant. Okay.
But yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that, and thanks for mentioning. You didn't have to say what political party you voted for,
I'm
but
not
I'm
ashamed to
glad you
say I'm a
did,
Labourite.
and I'm glad you did. So yeah, thank you very much, Miss Leisha.
Just to correct you, Keith, with regards.
Oh, correct.
Yeah, Nigel Farage, you said he won, but you forgot
No.
to say he won.
He won because he's now in the part in House of Commons. He was never in it.
He was
that's
never in it. That's correct.
That's how he won. So
Yeah.
I like fighting for my corner, and I'm not going to let you win on this one, Miss Leisha.
I have to win because you didn't explain it, so I just had to make sure I pulled it out of you like a.
Thank you very much, and I know because there's one of 3 men on the show, but yes, I'm glad you did mention it. But he's tried 8 times, and now Nigel Farage is in the building.
He's now an MP for Clacton, and he's smiling like a muppet right now.
Yeah.
He's smiling like a right muppet.
Yeah, he's an official MP now, and he will make their life hell. And I'm allowed to say that on the radio. He will make their life hell. So it's going to be absolutely interesting. They are fighting 3.098 trillion GDP that the UK earns every month. They are all thieves, and that's called Mr. G. So yeah, I can understand that, but I was sorry. Did anyone else vote? Do you want to say? Are you happy? You sad? Anyone that Labour or Conservatives come out? Anyone? Not a lot of people want to know about politics.
Can I say something? Sorry, I did have my hand up. I think you just threw it down.
You did. I thought it was an old one.
No, Keith, no. Okay, so what I like about this cabinet, because I'm just looking at it, the majority of the Labour cabinet are female.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm going to read.
264 to be precise. Well done, Spice.
Yeah, I'm going to read them out. So we've got Angela Rayner. Obviously, she's the Deputy Prime Minister, and I like her because she's a council girl. She's, you know, she knows the hardships growing up as a child in it, you know.
What, you're going to read out all 264 of
No,
them?
no, I'm just going to make just the main one. So you got Angela Rayner, she's the deputy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got Rachel Reeves, she's the chancellor. So she's the first female chancellor. Then you got Yvette.
number 11. Yeah.
Yeah, Yvette Cooper, Home Secretary. Then you
Oh.
got David Lammy, Foreign Secretary.
Ooh.
Pat McFadden, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster. Shabana Mahmood, she's my MP. She's the Justice Secretary.
Mhm.
Then you got West Streeting, I don't know who he is. He's the Health Secretary. Bridget Phillipson again.
Mhm.
She's the Education Secretary. You got Ed Miliband, Energy Secretary. But a majority of them, you got Louise Huff, she's the Transport Secretary. There's a lot of females. Liz Kendall, Work and Pensions Secretary. He's got loads of females in the cabinet.
That's interesting, you saying that.
Very, very
That is
interesting.
absolutely flip.
Lisa
from what-
Nandley, Culture and Media and Sports Secretary.
Yeah, she used to work for Hammersmith and Fulham Council.
I just
Right.
want to say,
Mandy.
that Labour is the only one that has the most women in Parliament. And when Labour was last in, I think we had at least 164 women. We've actually landed another 100 women since then. So within that 14 years that they've actually been in, we've actually increased it by 100 women since then.
I think that's brilliant, Spice.
Yeah, I
what
think
you're
it's
saying.
really good.
Yeah, I think that is very good. Because especially he's now broken the mold, and put in quite a few ladies up in the top section of the.
Let's not give him all the credit because he hasn't broken that mold. The
Well,
mold was
yes.
broken from. No, I just need to make sure because I know about my Labour Party. So I'm just letting you know the mold was broken well before. Right?
No,
So the mold was broken long
no,
time.
not for the women.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was. Yes,
No.
it was. Yeah, he's not just broken it. Did you hear what I said? The last election, Labour has been the only one that has had so many women in Parliament. And as I said, the last election, 14 years, because it's 14 years that they've been in, Conservative, you need to go and do your homework, Keith. It's 164. Then within this time now, span over the 14 years, we've added another 100 women to that list.
Right. Okay. So let me finish what I was going to say, and I'm going to correct you. Okay. If you heard what the list that Spice read out, okay, Labour has broken the mold. They are the first to bring out all these women in top senior positions.
Which
There
is
has
what I
been-
just said.
one
They
minute.
were there
One
before.
minute.
We've had
There's
that.
been-
We've had.
No, we haven't. No. The-
Yes, we have.
Labour in all the years has never brought out so many women in top government positions as a ruling government. As a ruling government, they have never brought out all these women in a top post. All right? Because I tell you why they haven't, because when you got Tony Blair and all the other Labour prime ministers, they never had top women, as many top women as they've done now. So 1 minute, Shugs.
Did you vote? Did you vote? Did you vote, Chris? Did you vote Labour?
1 minute.
Did you vote Labour?
So
Did
what
you
I'm
vote
saying,
Labour?
that's got nothing to
Did
do
you
with it.
vote Labour? I'm asking you, did
nothing
you
to do
vote
with it.
Labour?
That's got,
No, because you're not really a Labour.
you can't
man.
say that.
And
You
let me
can't
just
say that.
correct you on something. The real man who pulled in all the votes was Jeremy Corbyn. You've not even mentioned him.
Yeah, well, I
cleaned-
won't mention him because
He's way ahead. He's way ahead than Stamina.
Listen,
Way
Jeremy
ahead.
Corbyn's
Way
Jeremy
ahead.
Corbyn, he's not he oh jeez. I don't even know what I want to tell you, but Jeremy Corbyn, he's helped. Yes, he's helped with what it is now. However, Sir Keir Starmer, his cabinet are full of many ladies. Jeremy Corbyn was never the Prime Minister. So where you may be misconstrued or muddying the waters, or it's
no, he was never prime minister.
One
He
minute.
was the head of the Labour Party at one stage as well.
He's not. He was never prime minister.
So the prime minister.
No, sorry. The prime minister. It doesn't work like that.
Comes off of people like Harold Wilson, right?
It does not work like that.
And comes
off. It doesn't work like that. So when you see
that,
he was never a prime minister. So if he's never a prime minister, and he cannot have the cabinet set up until he's a prime minister, then you can say yes, he's had all these ladies coming through the ranks, but he's never been prime minister. So you tell me, if Pinky, you can come back on and you let me know which prime minister, Labour prime minister, has had all these senior cabinet members of ladies. You name one prime minister. I'm not interested about Labour leaders, prime minister of Labour. And then we're going to Leisha after Pinky.
Tony Blair.
No.
No, Tony Blair didn't have a lot of females.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
264 females have not just turned up since Stamina's just come along. I'm not going to let you give them all of that clout. Star and Mer. I'm not going to let you give him all that clout, because people have been there. Many have been there before him that have actually brought that about. All right?
I'm going to bring Leisha in, because you're wrong. Miss Leisha.
I'm glad we have a Labour government. That's what we wanted. We wanted to get rid of Conservative, and they've gone, because we had them for 14 years, and it was time to get rid of the gangsters, the fraudsters and the gangsters.
Okay.
So they've gone now. So
all
that's
right,
let's rain all day.
Let's move on.
To wash them all down.
Let's move on. Okay, Miss Leisha, you had your hand up, but it's just difficult sometimes, but yeah. So let's so for me personally, 14 years, it was time for change. Unfortunately for Richie Sunak, he never was voted in the first place. He got put in through his own party. So so for him, it's just unfortunately that he's done that. So I'm just I see there's something in the group. I'm trying to open it.
No,
right.
Sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. G. Okay. Before I'm going to read that, I've got it open. Leisha, you got your hand up. Say what you got to say.
I was going to say the girls are fighting tonight.
Yeah. Fighting nonsense.
I saw feathers flying everywhere between you and Pinky. I honestly, I don't know who had the most women in their cabinet, whether it was Blair or Keir Starmer. However, we are aware that Rachel Reeves became the first female chancellor, which is good. I voted by the skin of my teeth yesterday by planting. I wasn't so sure who I should have voted for.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the mail postal vote sent to me in advance. So I held on to it, and I had to really think about who I wanted to vote for, and read a few of their bit up about each political party and what they're doing, their plans, etc., manifesto. And I voted. I won't say who I voted for. However, I'm glad to say that it wasn't for Tory government. And I'm pleased that they're out. However, I was speaking to somebody about this. I've spoken to quite a few people about this, and I almost feel that the Labour government's going to go in there and find a lot of mess, and it's going to really affect how they run the country because of that mess. And people have got to remember that the Labour government have not been in power for over 14 years. So the rest they'll have to take care of. So it will be interesting to see and to hear what the plans are for the country. Bearing in mind, Rishi and his friends, Rishi's probably gone to California with his wife now. Wasn't that his
that's what I've heard. That's what, well, someone's muted that could be a possibility that he may be going to America.
Yeah, he's off, and everybody else is running like cockroaches. So yeah, now the light's on. When the light gets turned on, that's when the cockroaches run, and they will run. Yeah.
Well, listen, and I'm glad I'm going to mention this because I think I'm right, and people can research. I think when you're having a debate and you don't hear, or you misconstrued what's being said, or you might interpret what you're thinking is correct. But if you sit back and read or listen, you'll know that you're thinking of the wrong thing. A prime minister and leader of a certain party. In The Guardian, okay, this is The Guardian. I'm grateful for Mr. G for finding this article. It says, and I'm not going to argue about this, Sir Keir Starmer's cabinet will have the most female ministers in history. Okay? Sir Keir Starmer's cabinet will have the most female ministers in history. Okay? And then it goes on to say,
we know that.
One minute.
Saying that.
It will.
We were
Okay, 1 minute.
It says
oh my goodness, come on. Let me finish what I'm reading. It says it will, however, only have 3 from the minority ethnic backgrounds, despite a record number of 89 being elected to Parliament. So although you've got 89 ethnic minority groups or in that Parliament, he's only elected 3 of them to be a senior member of his cabinet. So, and that is from The Guardian. Yeah. So, and they say it's, and what Spice was saying, David Lammy, he's definitely one of the highest. Well, he's the foreign minister. So, Shabana Mahmood, one of the first Muslim female MPs, and Lisa Nandy, another one, Asian. So they're the 2 ministers, 14 cabinet. So, yeah, so they're saying that what he's put in is for them, is a metropolitan cabinet of a great women number. So, yeah, shadow minister, or the foreign minister and things like that. So, and the chancellor of the exchequer being a lady, they will have to change things around in number 11. So number 11, they probably got a urinals in there for the men. That's been in there and this is true. Urinals are in there in the bathrooms for men that's been in there since day dot. Never had a women in there in its life. So things are going to have to change.
No toilet seat lid in there either.
Yeah, no. Well, they got gold toilet. No, that's in the House of Parliament. So yeah, so that's it. So I'm going to read a couple of chats for the radio listeners. That's how Shamps and Giggles are. We have our own opinions, big debates. Some we agree, some don't agree, but that's how we are. And it says, right. So sanitary bins. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Oh, see, all of that. A first, So yeah, David, and what they got, David Lammy, and I met him once and asked him he'll become PM. He's been working at it for a while. So yeah, see, and some are saying they're saddened that David Lammy has now got a higher position because he might not be on LBC anymore. They loved his show, LBC show. I can understand that, So so I'm hoping that the majority of us, it seems like, did go out and vote. I certainly went out and voted. Yeah, I had a postal vote and it went off nicely. So someone had their hand up, but it's gone down now. So I'm not sure if they want to say any more. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. I can't see them changing anything drastically too soon because there's too much. And I can see some of the voters for Labour getting upset in a year's time because they will be saying that nothing's changed. But it's not going to be that simple. There's too much things broken. Miss Leisha, go ahead.
Somebody mentioned a chat about Diane Abbott. Give Diane Abbott a senior post then. So we didn't give Diane Abbott a senior post then.
Oh yes, I forgot. I will check. Osset, yeah, that's right. So he did give Diane Abbott a senior post then. No, you're right. So we can look into that and see what posts he's given Diane Abbott. But unfortunately, I did just read out he only gave 3 posts, senior posts out, and unfortunately, our great Diane Abbott wasn't mentioned in those. So yeah, Supreme Doctor, you're absolutely right. I think that's a great suggestion, and I think we should do a petition to it's not BBC, it's LBC. It's possibly that because Pinky knows David Lammy, she's met him, she could probably go in on his show on the LBC. So I think that would be quite good. So listen, everyone, you're listening to Champs and Giggles. Things have changed, government's changed. So hopefully a lot of us are thinking, is it for the good or is it for the bad? Some of us wish that Conservative was still in. I'm not sure who, but some people will be missing them greatly. But it was broken. They were corrupt from within. You got party gate and all sorts of gates going on. And the weirdest one that I still would like to know where he is and what he's doing now is Lord Cameron. David Cameron got a position that Rishi Sunak gave him, and for him to get that position, he had to inaugurate him as a Lord, as a peer in the House of Lords. So now he's got this title. His wife's now Lady Cameron. So now he's got this title. The Conservatives have lost power. He was given a brilliant exclusive title, which he will keep for life. His wife, his children will all keep the titles, I understand. And he's now out of a job. That was one of the best promotions, I think, in history. Go ahead, Miss Leisha.
Yeah, Cameron lost his seat to the Liberal Democrats.
Yes, but can I just correct you, which I've seem to be doing all day today? Lord Cameron, he shouldn't have had a seat because he wasn't an MP. Or are you saying he was an MP? I don't think he was an MP. I think he was brought in to just have a position, but the position that Rishi Sunak needed him to do, he couldn't give it to any ordinary person. He had to give it to a lord. And for him to give it to Cameron to help him out, and possibly thinking that he will sway good votes for people because David Cameron's back, he had to give him a lordship. Him getting this lordship allowed him to do this position that he's had. However, now Conservatives have gone, Lord Cameron keeps his title. Go ahead, Spice.
I'm just going to move on back to Diane Abbott because obviously she's got lost by the wayside. So it says here that Diane Abbott is set to take up one of the most esteemed positions in the House of Commons after retaking her seat in Hackney North as Stoke Newington. Miss Abbott will become the mother of the House in the new Parliament, a role given to the longest continuously serving female member of Parliament. The previous holder was Harriet Harman, who stepped down at this election.
Thank you, Spice. I couldn't be asked. Well done.
Very good.
Not liking I can't type.
That is
Keep
very good,
reading.
because that is exactly what has been asked by Osset. But I'm glad that you found it, because no one else typed it in there since when Osset asked. He didn't give Diane Abbott any promotion. So that is good to hear. And that will suit her, as TMJ has said. Go ahead, Miss Leisha.
I think it's a great accolade for Abbott.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's quite interesting that you, and I'm glad you brought this up, because I never realised that, and I've looked it up in the Standard. They've mentioned it, and her election to Parliament was in 1987, and she was the first woman who sat and won a seat in the House of Commons, and she's been, and to be the longest serving and to be a Black woman, that sort of is being swept under the carpet. It's been, and something so historical like that has been mystified by something that she had allegedly said about a group of people that has made her name being tarnished. The media tarnishing her name. I've not looked this up. I've just read bits and what have you, but I'll research it. But her career's had been affected by it, and they've just swept it under the carpet and not celebrated that she's gone through so much as a Black female or woman. I'll say MP, that and she's held her seat as well. Absolutely love her.
Yeah, very true. And
they're trying to overshadow it with everything else because of her close ties with the last leader of the Labour Party. And he still kept his seat, which is funny as well.
He did, as an independent.
Jeremy Corbyn, because they can't.
Wait a moment, Pinky. He had that seat for over 40 years.
40 years as an MP.
One minute, Pinky. Let Leisha finish.
Because they cannot move. You see, Jeremy Corbyn and Diane Abbott, like 2 peas in a pod. All right, they never liked that relationship. They kept associating her. They were waiting for her because he had said what he had said way back, and they wanted to hang him. Yeah, and they got rid of him. But you know, this is how people support you and keep you. Yeah, because his people, he even got more than stamina in terms of votes. Okay, Corbyn took the whole of Islington, more votes than what stamina had got, but they got rid of Corbyn because it would have been Corbyn's place and he should have been Prime Minister, but they know why they got rid of him. Him and Diana got on too well. Mr. Stamina wanted to spin that spin of getting rid of her, but you see, that's why they're having her and Gibbs as mother, because she's smarter than a whole lot of them put together. She's been down this road many a time, experiences everything.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you, Spice, for reading it. I couldn't be asked because the information was there.
Yeah, you couldn't be asked.
Before
ASK.
saying that she wasn't given.
ASK.
Yeah, no, because it means
ASK. Miss Leisha, I wasn't even sure if you had finished what you were saying.
Oh, I was just saying that it's an accolade that hasn't been mentioned. It's been brushed under the carpet, which is unfortunate. And like I was saying with Jeremy Corbyn and his seat, he's had that seat for more than 40 years. And it's unfortunate that when you mention, when as a politician, when you say something that and it doesn't agree with the wider people, it can affect your career. And I don't know what he was said exactly. I just don't know, unfortunately. And it's obviously rubbed off on Diane Abbott, but Diane Abbott's constituency absolutely love her. She ran as an independent, she won again, and now they've they're putting her as elected, and now she's got a seat in the Commons.
Okay, so I'm going to just slightly correct. I think I know what you meant, but when you said that she ran as an independent, she ran as a Labour candidate. She could have run as an independent, but she didn't because they brought her back into the party. So
Yeah.
she won fair and square, and I think that they were probably even more shocked that she won in her ward. They tried to they suspended her. They might have thought that people will have fallen off the wayside and won't vote for her. But how wrong were they? And the numbers that she accumulated to win her seat and her ward easily. So yes, Miss Leisha and Spice,
Sorry,
I think it's a great thing.
She did run as a Labour, and I think that they did. I remember us speaking about her actually, and they used her so they can win because they knew she had a huge following.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. If you notice, it was very, very recent that they brought her back into the party because they knew she had a huge following.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping that between now and our finishing our radio segment, I'm hoping someone will be able to find out how much she won by, what was her votes in Hackney, because then we can then work out how many votes they would have lost had they have kept up with the suspension. So if she had 40,000, 30,000 votes, can you imagine all those votees would not have voted for Labour? Could it have made a different story? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. I may be able to find it before we finish tonight. How many votes she won by in Hackney, because that would be very interesting. And that just shows you that the level of command that she's still operating as a councillor. You know, so Keir Starmer got 50% less votes in his constituency than he had in 2018. That's surprising. So it's everybody else that shored Labour along. Go ahead, Miss Leisha.
Yeah, I've got it here. So the number of seats that she won.
Yeah.
Diane Abbott's 2 votes, sorry. 24,355 votes.
Yeah, you see, nearly 25,000 people love, as you said, love Diane Abbott, and they went out and voted for her. So can you imagine if it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior and Sir Keir Starmer kept on suspended, they would have lost nearly 25,000 votes.
And can I just compare that to the Conservatives who got...
Of course, yeah, go ahead.
They got 3,457 votes. And then if I look at how many votes is it Reform? Is it Reform?
Yeah, Reform.
1,283 votes.
See?
But the funny thing is the Green Party came in second at 9,275. So it's pretty probable that if she was elected, if she didn't run, all those votes probably would have gone to the Green Party. And the Liberals.
I think they would have got. I think they would, yeah, definitely to Green or Lib Dems.
Lib Dems, yeah.
But TMJ reckons Hackney would never turn.
But
even if she wasn't, even if she wasn't elected, another Labour candidate was put forward. She believes that they still would have won in Hackney. Oh, sorry, TMJ, you're there. Go on.
Yeah, no, you were kind of right, but not right. I don't know if Hackney, Hackney is a Labour borough. There's no way. I do believe what Sharon and Pinky was saying, though. In the absence of having a satisfactory Labour candidate, they would have done anything else. They ain't voting Tory.
I believe personally is that had they kept on with the farce with Diane Abbott, with the suspension and taken her right out, she would have gone as an independent. And I believe those 25,000 or even 20,000 of her votes would have gone with her.
I
I
believe
think
so.
North,
too.
definitely North.
But
Definitely North.
they wouldn't have gone blue. That's all I'm saying.
No, but I think they would have gone with her as an independent.
Because that's what a lot of people did. They just, and I think Leisha was saying the same thing, is that when you get into that voting booth, if you don't really know, you can only just do it based on the personalities that are in your, that you know have helped you in that community. And so if you really haven't got a personal standing about what you prefer to vote for, you're going to vote for personalities. And Diane Abbott is not to be fooled with when it comes to supporting people. She's one of the most dedicated people that we know. And even when she was vilified, she was still out there campaigning for the rights of Black communities. She was still out there.
Yeah.
And going back to what we were saying, I don't think if they made a bit of fuss, I don't think it would have worked for her. I think it would have gone against her, because
You reckon?
because some people have still got this Jewish narrative going on and what was going on there. And I think it would have just stoked up more of that. The way that they've done it, I think, is good, because they've just done it, quietly done it. No whistles and bells. And therefore she can just go into her job.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
Of the house.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting. Teresa, it's going to be very interesting then, because Nigel Farage, didn't he just recently say, in America seems to be very disproportionate with Jews. So, Nigel Farage, his first time, that's what he's just recently said. So I don't hear nobody saying.
He's got Ed Miliband to deal with. He's Jewish.
Yeah, Ed Miliband's in there.
Who's passionate because of his wife and his background. Now he's probably doing his prayers, because it's early, it's finished now. But
this was his remarks. See, this was Nigel Farage's remarks recently, no more than a couple of weeks ago. He said that. So that's going to be really interesting to see how it all pans out.
What I was saying, what did he say?
He just said that he felt that the politics within America, the Jews are very disproportionate. That's what he said. Like, meaning there's so many of them in politics. That's what he was saying. Didn't seem, a bit of disproportionate going on, he was saying, or the way that he put it didn't sound too good neither. But as I said, with Diane and Abbott, it's good that he had to, the new Labour Party, he had to restructure and bring it and make sure that they kept her on, because they would have lost, because we would not have been voting Labour, because I certainly wouldn't have.
Okay, well, Miss Leisha.
I wouldn't have gone, and then I had to go to the box, because we've got a good girl here, Cote d'Ivoire, and she's Black again, but also
she's lovely.
Marsha, she's lovely, and she does work for our needs. Like, one of the needs that they would have taken away would have been our bus 19, and that's a 19 bus that links right across London. It's been there for must be one of the longest bus routes within TfL, within the UK. That 19 bus route that comes from the south right over to Islington.
Okay, can I intersect, because I want to talk about what Pinky mentioned about Farage, and just direct people to the Independent newspaper who reported on it back in 2017, 1st November 2017, when he was part of the Nigel Farage was the UKIP leader, former UKIP leader, who had close ties with President Trump at the time, and he mentioned in the article that Nigel Farage has been fiercely criticised for saying Jews living in the US hold disproportionate political power. So I think that's where you got it from. And
Thank you. Yeah, I did.
His remarks were deemed as anti-Semitic, and following a conversation, a discussion on the LBC radio station,
Thank you.
whether Russian influence had really helped Trump be elected, after a caller who referred to him as Ahmed told Mr. Farage he thought the pro-Israel lobby in the US was equally dangerous to alleged Russian attack hacking. He appeared to concur with the listener. The politician said, well, the Israeli lobby, you know, that's a reasonable point, Ahmed, because there's about 6 million Jewish people live in America. So as a percentage, it's quite small, but in terms of influence, it's quite big. He says a bit more than that, but I'll just direct everybody to the independent newspaper on the November 1st, 2017. There you go.
Yeah, that's where I read it. Independent. I like reading.
That means it must have reared its head again recently. Because if it was 2017 and it's come up again now, possibly because he's been elected. So yeah, these things do come back to bite.
No. Well, it wasn't. It came up before he was he was elected.
No, while he was running. While he was running.
Oh.
Yeah, while he was running for election to be a candidate, or while he was a candidate, it must have been brought up. For you to think of it now. Did someone mention it while he was doing this, his momentum for him to get into?
No,
Parliament?
I saw this quite some time ago. No.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So maybe, yeah, okay. So yes, so anyway, we've got
It's just that I know how Nigel Farage is and who he is. So it's quite shocking that he's even, he took third place.
Yeah, he's the
third. A lot of people from Conservative jumped ship, and they jumped ship not to, like you would have thought maybe the Lib Dems. They actually jumped ship to the reform, which is very interesting. Because they've never, ever got. Well, I mean, it's only one seat, but it's
no. He's got 4.
He got 4 seats.
He's got 4. He's got 4 seats in
House of Parliament. Yeah, in Parliament.
Yeah, he's got 4 seats.
So who was it that held the 1 seat then?
Well, it's probably.
I know the Greens.
It's probably Lib. It's probably SUP or one of those. Yep. Okay, Miss Leisha, I see you on there. Listen, everybody, I've got to end it here. Listeners, listen, thank you very much. Again, we'll hear back again next Friday. Shamps and Giggles, come join us. Spread the word, spread our name. This is what we do every Friday. DJ Smiley and crew, Shamps and Giggles. We love you. And radio listeners, we're out of here, but the rest of us can carry on. All right? Later.